When Rajeev Chandrasekhar sold BPL Mobile for what then seemed like a fabulous sum, he wondered what to do next. He decided to invest the money in the things that interested him. In hotels, in aerospace, in coffee plantations, in technology businesses, and in the media. Ironically, just one of those investments, in television, worked so well that when he sold it, he made even more money than he'd made from the sale of BPL Mobile. And that was after years of struggle. You've said that money is actually no more than the gravy on the pudding. But you have a reasonable amount at the moment. What do you spend it on? What makes you happy?
I'm happy doing things that give me a high, and I'm happy doing things with my family that give them a high. And so I like, for example, to invest in businesses that stimulate me.
But investment's different from spending. Do you actually spend the money a lot?
No, I spend, of course. I love my cars. I love flying. So I spend on things I don't spend them because I'm spending them. I spend them because I get a high, out of experiencing what those things give me.
Does the money itself matter to you? When you became rich, because you were from a very middle-class background, how much difference did it make?
Money must matter and money should matter. I think money must matter because you want to improve your standard of living and you want to do things for your kids and your wife that you can't do otherwise when you don't have the money. But I'm not driven by the money thing. I mean, I'm not that excited by being on a Forbes list or an ET list or a Fortune list.
But there was a time when you could have lost that money, when the company was bankrupt. Did that worry you, the thought of being poor?
It worried me because I had just started a family. And, I'm inherently a paranoid person because Andy Grove's statement always comes back in my mind saying, only the paranoid survive. Right. So I always live a life of where the worst case is constantly something that I play out in my mind. So, of course, I have played out scenarios where, where
you're back on the street or
whatever.
Back
on the street and I have a family to support. And so that paranoia keeps you going and makes you want to do things that, protect you. But I will not cross a line just to mitigate my money requirements.
So what does it take to be a Rajeev Chandrasekhar?
I don't think you should establish a goal to be as being rich, becoming rich. I think...
So that's a byproduct?
Yeah, that should always be the gravy on the pudding, if you want to call it that. It should be a byproduct. Okay. I think if you are driven by a sense of wanting to achieve and wanting to prove and wanting to establish and wanting to demonstrate something that is yours, there is infinite possibilities in India. But it requires a certain amount of core masala, if you want to call it that. It requires a determination. It requires you to have a mindset of not getting thrown off course by the slightest wind. Don't go into it with the simplicity and naivety that I went into maybe. That is the only difference. If I were to restart today, I would go into it with the same amount of idealism maybe, but with a little dose of a realistic understanding of the environment.
Assume now that you're talking to some nerdy kid who's about to go off to engineering college, is as scrawny as you were, maybe listens to music, maybe plays the guitar, and he says to himself, one day I too can be a Rajeev Chandrasekhar. What would your advice to him be?
Why should you limit yourself to be Rajeev Chandrasekhar? You can be much more than him, and I think, look, my only advice to you is live every moment as if it is the last moment. I mean, use your time between now and the time you're 35 to make yourself financially strong. But if you sort of let fate decide and only fate decide where you go, then you're putting yourself in, setting yourself for trouble.
And it's possible to do that, you think?
Anything is possible.
So what does the Rajeev Chandrasekhar story tell us? Well, it tells us that in today's India, no matter where you come from, even if it's a service background, a middle-class family, you can still get to the top. You can still make hundreds of millions of dollars. But to succeed, you must fight.